Okay, here's a quick look at my Datsun 180B Triple S or Datsun 610 Triple S. I bought this in 2004 in Melbourne, or from Melbourne. I was living in Sydney at the time. I moved to Queensland and had it on the road for about a year, and it started getting a little bit of rust in the back. Took it off the road for somebody to repair the rust and paint it, and it subsequently ended up sitting in storage for 4 years or thereabouts without much work done to it at all. As you can see, the rear quarters been left in bare metal and got a lot of surface rust. It's just got rust converter on it at the moment. This was a major problem with the cause of the rust. We've got some rust in the back window, and previously during its life it had a slight hit in the back which had damaged the seal here and caused the water to run straight down into the rear quarters, and also had it run straight down into the sills, and we got a bit of rust there. I'm living in Bundaberg and a lot of salt air around too. There's a bit of rust in the back here. This car was basically a one-owner car when I got it. The guy's grandfather had bought it new. Passed down to him, and I think that guy only had it for about 6 months before it passed into my hands. It was a nice original clean car, fairly low kilometres, about 220,000 k's on the clock at the time. As you can see, I've started work on it. I've stripped the interior out. I've started removing all the sound bending out of the floor pan just to check for rust. There's a couple of spots over there, just surface rust, but we're going to inspect that more thoroughly. Dash is out. Problem while it was in storage, it was a big rat's warren for a lot of the time, and rat urine is very corrosive, and it's tend to have rusted a lot of bits and pieces, and they got into the wiring a little, but doesn't seem too bad. Got rusted around the front windscreen here, there. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. The boot's reasonably clean. This is going to be a full resto mod. Redo the interior, which is a shame because the interior was so good when I got it. The rear quarters here had still had some plastic on them from when it came from the dealer. Ashtray lighter had never been used. A bit of wear in the driver's seat. That was about it. I think hardly anyone had even sat in the back seat or the passenger seat. Yeah, it's a 4-speed, standard 180B Triple S 1973 model. When I got it, first thing I did was rebuilt the brakes, suspension, 200B struts in the front, shortened. I think there's Celica shocks in them actually. The guys at Wholesale Suspension Parts in Penrith did it. 30mm lowered king springs all round, KYB shocks in the back, white line sway bar, adjustable strut tops which are hidden under the standard caps there. Yeah, still not enough negative camber on it. It's the case with the 180Bs. Apparently the top of the strut towers are 40mm further apart or thereabouts than the Datsun 1600, so probably running a little bit of negative camber compared to the positive camber I had when I first got it. Bumper bars were perfect, the front was perfect, the back had a little thing in it when I got it. Now the rust has got into it. I cleaned out of the heated plenum here, I cleaned probably about 4 or 5 kilos of rat feces out of there. I'm looking at trying to clean it right out. Big rat's nest in the sills and inside the body cavities here. I want to clean it right out and somehow rust, get rid of all the rust in there, surface rust, with some sort of rust converter, and seal it up somehow, rust proof it. I'm going with a semi-luxury type race car theme with it. I'm painting the inside and smoothing out all the floor pan. There's going to be no carpet, but I'll have floor mats. The dash is I've finally decided the dash is going to be modified original. It's just going to have a little bit of carbon fibre, maybe colour change. Might do some leather on the dash pad, I don't know yet. The trims will probably be a mix of leather and a bit of carbon fibre. Don't know what seats yet. At the moment I'm planning on keeping the L18, doing a rebuild on it, unless I can come across a CA18 or something for the right price at the right time. I don't know, I want to keep engine wise fairly standard and you know, something reliable. The L18 is a bit of fun. I've had fast cars before and I don't need a 400 rear wheel kilowatt SR20 in it. I'll never do that to this car. Well, you can figure that out for yourself. It's a bit of a joke for the name of the car at the moment. Tinted windows, the steering wheel, that's another thing I did when I first got the car. It's quite nice to drive. When I moved to Bundy, first trip I had back to Sydney, been driving for economy, I filled up in Bundaberg, drove to Grafton where I filled up again and then got to Pennant Hills and I was still a bit in the tank, so yeah, it's not a bad vehicle. It's quite nice to drive for such an old car too. Just wish it handled a bit better. It's got to do something with this front end. Maybe a Dat Sport handling kit or something. Also I seen it was zoomed right in there. No wonder it was all funky. Yeah, I'm intending on cleaning up the exterior, blanking off these indicator recesses here, filling up all the holes. I'm thinking about getting rid of this trim too, painting, shave the door handles maybe, get rid of these holes down here and all that trim's gone. And I'm thinking about the seam along the bottom of the sill, getting rid of that too, but yeah, obviously got to worry about jacking points somehow. So I've still got the original hubcaps and everything. I've got a set of 14-inch Watanabe rims that I got from Tokyo to you from Japan, probably in about 2006, 2005. Much looking forward to having them on the car one day. I haven't touched the engine bay yet. You can get an idea of some of the crap that was in the car. All rat crap here, down here. You can imagine how the dash was filled up. I've got a lot of photos. I'm going to build a website chronicling the build, and you can see that all on there, but that's a few months away. I'm a little busy for that at the moment, but it'll be coming. Well, that's her, and this is a project. That's the car I'm driving at the moment, the EA Fairmont, so I'd much rather be driving this and try and pick up another Datsun in the meantime to get around in. Just now that I've got this back in my little hands, and I'm getting very keen. I've had a couple of 1600s in my time, or 510s, and even back then I always liked the look of the SSS coupe. I love the car. Wouldn't mind another 510 either. Been looking at the JDM tail lights and trying to decide what to do with them. I mean, they're expensive to get and get good ones, but I like the look of the Aussie tail lights, so that's a toss up at the moment. I really don't know. We'll just see what happens there. What else can I tell you about that? That's about it, I'm afraid. Intended use for it, I'd like to say to be a daily driver, but I think once I get it all painted and I'm going to do a good job of it, I want to colour sand it and everything, I probably won't want to take it out shopping. But I'm not going to be scared to drive it. I want to do maybe a couple of motor corners, maybe hill climbs and stuff, track days. I'm not going to be scared to drive it at all. I'll take it on dirt even, I don't care. The bottom's going to be painted as well. It's no tarry sound in or under there, it's going to be painted. I'm thinking of stone guard or something, but it's still going to be driven. It's going to be noisy and obnoxious inside. Don't even think I'm going to put a radio in it, CD player or anything. It's all going to be about driving the car. awful lot of work ahead, but I'm enjoying it. Even this crappy job of getting this sound ender off, which, by the way, guys, if you're going to do it, use something like this, citrus-based solvent. Still a bad job, but without it it's nearly impossible. Nothing else gets it off. Anyway, cheers from Mikhail, and yeah, we'll keep you updated.